everybody. My name is Caris Snider, and welcome to Unmasked. What we talk about here is real struggles, but we offer real hope and real help in dealing with those struggles. And we are so excited to have you all join us today to talk about things that are happening in our world right now. But before we go into that, I very quickly wanted to announce our winner of the Chicken Salad Chick gift card, Autumn Hines King. Congratulations on winning that gift card. Thank you for participating and sharing and tagging your friends. Thank you all for participating. We'll do something like that again very soon. If you are joining us for the first time, you can find us on Facebook Live on our My Coleman Television page. We are also on Spectrum 180, on the Roku, and we are on all the different podcast platforms. So lots of ways to catch Unmasked, to catch other shows that we have here on My Coleman Television. We love having your support and having you guys with us. So for many of you, this may be your first time catching Unmasked and watching us, and this may be a timely show for you. What we're going to be talking about today is anxiety and the coronavirus. So I know that none of us, this is nothing new. We have seen it everywhere in our media. We've seen it everywhere on the news, even on sports channels. You are seeing everyone talking about the coronavirus, right? And we're seeing everyone not just talk about it, but they're offering their opinions. And some of those opinions are full of fear. They're full of doubt. They're full of panic and hysteria. Now, many of the things that we are hearing are factual and are true, and it is good, solid information that we can use. So what we want to do here today is just share with you ways that you can deal with the anxiety that's come upon you as you have learned about this new virus that maybe you've never heard of. I have never heard of it until the last few weeks as we've seen things go around in our world. And I want to share this with you. I'm so passionate about it because I know from my own personal experience what anxiety and panic and fear and living a life that way can do to you. In 2011, 9 years ago, I found myself in that place. Now, I will be very honest with you guys, just as this show is called Unmasked and talking about those real things, for me, when that anxiety gripped me, it almost took my life. That anxiety moved from depression because I didn't deal with it. I didn't know how to deal with it. I honestly did not know what was happening in my body, so it scared me. The thoughts that I had scared me, and I lived in a paralyzed, panicked state. And many in our world are there right now, and that's why we're wanting to share to help you to come out of that place so that it doesn't take you any further. And I shared this with some of you actually on a Facebook Live last night, but I remember a specific moment when that anxiety had gripped my mind. The thing is that when you are battling that anxiety, your brain will treat the thought of a dangerous situation, the thought of it happening in a real, actual, dangerous situation the same way. Because what it wants to do is protect you. Your brain's job for it is to help make sure you survive. And so when that anxiety, which is a part of your emotional part of your brain, takes over, you got to think of it like your electric box at your house. If your kids leave all the lights on and you've got the blow dryer running and you've got your dryer running with clothes and you have all these different electrical things running, if there's too many running at once, what happens? That breaker box, it trips, right? It trips a breaker and they go off. And the power goes off. And so that's the same thing with anxiety. When you have all of those thoughts and all of those fears running and racing in your brain, it panics and it gets tripped and it goes off. And so that's what's happening in your brain and in your body. And several years ago, when I was battling anxiety, I remember going to Walmart. And I would not park by any white vans because, ladies, if you're watching, you know, just like I do, when you watch a drama or a criminal series, Criminal Minds was honestly one that I would like to watch, which I had to stop watching. The bad guy was always in a white van. So when I would go to Walmart that day, I would not park anywhere near a white van because in my mind, I had created this picture and this image due to anxiety and panic that if I parked by that van, that is what was going to happen to me. So then once I finally found a parking spot, I was going into the store to actually find an all-natural supplement to help me with my anxiety, because I still had not told anyone what I was dealing with, how I was struggling. I was still holding it in to myself. And so when I was looking at the supplement, I was kind of knelt down, and a man came up on my right side, and he was looking for vitamins, and then another man came up on my left side. Neither one of them had anything to do with each other. But in my brain, I saw them coming, and again, I had created this picture and this image and this own movie, if you will, going through my mind, that these two men were about to grab me. So I began to panic, and I began to have that fight or flight response. What am I going to do? Am I going to stay here and fight, or am I going to run away? So I stood up, and these two men began to walk, and they were just leaving the aisle, that's all, and they were crossing behind me, and as they did, I jumped out of my skin, and I literally ran out of that store crying. And both of those men, they were like, "Ma'am, we're so sorry, didn't mean to scare you." But because I had created that image in my head that something bad was gonna happen, that is the way I reacted. And I overreacted, and I panicked, and then I ran out of there. And that's what happens when we are gripped with fear and anxiety. We can overreact, and we can panic, and it causes hysteria within our minds and in our bodies. And so we see that, don't we, right now, as we see this information coming through about the coronavirus. Our news feeds on our social medias is 24/7. The news channels are running at 24/7, and our brains are inundated with all this information and all of this opinions, and our brain doesn't know what is real, what is false, or what we are creating and imagining in our head. So it is creating this hysteria within our body and in our minds. So I want to give you some information today to help you, because one thing with anxiety, you don't want to avoid, you want to acknowledge that something is happening, that something is going on, and then you can respond in a calm, full of wisdom type of way. So first of all, I went to the cdc.gov website, and I looked up symptoms. What are some symptoms of the coronavirus? And they gave 3. It says that you could experience these symptoms 2 to 14 days after exposure. It mentions fever, cough, and shortness of breath. And then it goes on to say that the virus is mainly spread from person to person contact between those who are within close contact with one another. So that is less than 6 feet. And it goes on to say that through respiratory droplets produced when an infected person coughs or sneezes and you're around them, and that's within that, again, that less than 6 foot radius. So what can you do to protect yourself? Here's the good news. So we know the symptoms. Now let's move to the good news. There is good news in this. There are ways to protect yourself. So that's what we want to focus on. We don't want to focus on the hysteria, the mass panic, all the opinions that everyone is giving, which the majority of people in this world are going to have a negative opinion to how the world is responding, to your government, just about life in general. So we don't want to look at opinions. We want to look at truth. We want to look at facts.
Premier Bank of the South currently offers a variety of school spirit debit cards. These are available to all of our customers, and they're free of charge. Stop by one of our offices today and get yours ordered. For a listing of our school spirit debit cards and our office locations, please feel free to visit us at www.premierbankofthesouth.com.
In Coleman, we're looking forward to more play dates and date nights, first checkups, and checks on the bucket list. We're looking forward to first looks and second chances, and we're looking forward to making these moments possible. with the benefits of better technology and the insights of leading experts. We're looking forward to a healthier Coleman.
So there are facts, there are ways that you can protect yourself. First of all, clean your hands often. You can see I have Germ-X right here. Many of us are going around with our Germ-X. Should we hoard it? No, absolutely not, because that kind of defeats the purpose, right? If other people don't have that Germ-X. So you want to make sure that you're cleaning your hands. You want to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. When I worked in daycare and childcare centers, we would teach the kids to sing the happy birthday song twice, or the ABC song twice, and not to sing it fast, but to sing it slowly. So even you can sing a song in your head, you can make it silly and make it fun. So you're not allowing that fear to overtake you every time you wash your hands. And you want to wash your hands anytime you touch things like money or door handles or other things. You want to wash your hands on a regular, consistent basis. If you don't have antibacterial soap near you, Germ-X is a great option for you. You want to avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. Now, I will be honest with you guys, I touch my face a lot. So this is gonna be a good challenge for me to create a new habit. So you wanna make sure that you are not touching your face. Another thing is to avoid close contact with people. And we have seen that they have been talking about social distancing. And so what that is where you are a minimum of 6 feet away from people. So that keeps you out of that parameter where those germs can reach. And you just want to distance yourself. And if you don't have to be out in public around large crowds, don't be there. That doesn't mean to stop living your life. It just means be wise and be cautious about where you're going and what you're doing. Now, another thing that I will encourage you to do to help protect yourself. Now, we've talked about how to protect yourself physically, but you have got to protect yourself mentally, friends. You've got to, because what can happen is when that anxiety comes in your body, it will affect you in a physical way if you don't fight back and you don't resist that temptation to give into the fear and to give into the anxiety. And it can cause your body to experience rapid heartbeat, where you have trouble breathing. You feel dizzy. You may deal with migraine headaches due to anxiety. You may deal with nausea, and you may deal with insomnia. So you want to make sure that you're protecting that mental part of your body so that you can continue to take care of your physical body. And I love the social distancing, and I would encourage you to practice media distancing. Media distancing. And what I mean by that is don't spend all your time on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the many different social platforms. Again, it's mindless scrolling, and we are filling our brains with all those negative things, all those fearful thoughts, all those fearful opinions, and it creates that fear within you, and that will grow within inside of you, and then it'll come out. Again, that breaker's gonna get tripped, and it's going to go off, and you're going to have that explosion, and you're going to panic. So practice media distancing. Get off of social media for the majority of the day. If you want to get on there and just see what your friends are saying, what people are up to, check it 1 to 2, maybe 3 times a day, but don't let that be your main focus. And also, if you are watching the news constantly, I would also encourage you to take a break, do that media distancing from the news. Yes, be informed, that's important, but don't let that be your life. Don't just sit in front of the TV and be paralyzed by fear. There's no need for you to watch it 24/7, so take a break, walk away. Your brain will be very, very thankful for that. So that is one thing that you can practice. Another thing you can do is get outside and get active. That physical activity is so important for your body. Getting that vitamin D, taking your vitamins, that keeps your body healthy, that builds your immune system so that you are keeping yourself healthy, and also practice that with your kids. You can practice some new habits of reading a book. You can practice journaling. Reading right now, that'll be a great thing for your mind, for your memory. I would just want to remind you guys, we have the Anxiety Elephants devotional. It's $12. It's a 31-day devotional on overcoming anxiety. It gives you tools, it gives you tips on how to deal with that. You can actually, through today, go to Amazon.com and download the ebook for free. So there are great books, great tools out there. You can even find books that you can read with your kids. There are all sorts of series that you could read with them while they're at home. You want to practice looking for good. As I got up this morning, I was drinking my coffee, I heard the birds singing outside, and it just was another reminder for me that there is good happening around us, even within our communities, all across this country. People are banding together to pull food together for those kids, those families who count on those school lunches that they get to eat and that breakfast that they get to eat. So I've seen many come together to make sure they have food over the next couple of weeks, over this extended break that we're taking. There is good around you everywhere. So you want to get up every morning and practice that attitude of gratitude. When your feet hit the floor, instead of grabbing your phone or turning the news on, just practice looking around and saying, what am I grateful for today? What are the good things in my life today? And the more you do that, the more your brain will focus on that. Science shows us that we cannot focus on anxious thoughts and thankful thoughts at the same time. It cannot happen. So when you're focusing on those things that you're thankful for, that helps you. And then I've had many of you ask me, what are you doing? How are you coping with your anxiety through all of this? And I'll be honest with you guys, I wish I could tell you I've had none, I've had zero, not been afraid at all, but that would just not be true. Yes, anxiety has come at me. Yes, I've had those fearful thoughts, and I've had to do the very same things that I'm telling you guys. I've had to walk away. I've had to distance myself from the media and from social media and stop reading everyone's opinions. I've had to look for things that I'm thankful for. Some other things that I've done is I've practiced taking those deep breaths to stay calm within my brain. I stay close to my community, my tribe, those people that I have in my life that I can say, look, I need your prayer, or I'm freaking out. What are you guys doing right now? Where we can be honest with each other and get it all out, and then encourage one another and say, okay, this is how we're going to respond. And another way that I have been able to respond is through my faith to trust that God is in this, that even though it is bad, He is still good, and He is going to be with us, and He is going to help us move through these uncharted waters that we're in, and He is going to bring us together, and hope is going to shine through. And just very quickly, some scriptures that have helped me. Psalms 91:11, He will command His angels to watch over us, guard us, and keep us in all of our ways. Isaiah 41:10, do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you in my righteous right hand. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, we do not have a spirit of fear, but one of power and love and a sound mind. And then I'll just give you Psalms 94:19. When anxiety was great within, your comfort brought me joy. And there are more I could go on and tell you about. John 13:33, about how we can take heart even when we have trouble. He's overcome the world. But these are things, God's word, that helps me to focus on the right thing, to focus on the good thing, so that I can help my kids. And if you're at home with your kids over the next couple of weeks, I would also encourage you to media distance for their sake. Imagine our minds are dealing with anxiety the way that they are, and for some of us, it's not good. If we are filling our kids with that, it's going to be even more difficult on them because they cannot comprehend what's happening. So you want to be very careful what you allow them to see. I'm not saying hide it from them, but I'm saying be very careful and cautious what you allow them to see in the words that you use with them. Just like this break, we talk about it as an extended break, to be cautious and to be careful, and how we can take this time to make sure we are staying healthy. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you for listening today. I know that was a lot of information. You can find me on Caris Snider on all the different platforms, and we'll talk to you guys soon.